All right. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty strong. Looking pretty solid. I'm looking over at the side on my recording over here. It has been quite some time since my last little post on the web. I really, and I got to be mindful now because I have the godlight behind me, and as soon as I move, you guys get hit with the light. So it's a work in progress. It's not perfect. It's not great. Um, it's good. It accomplishes what I'm looking to do. And I think that's honestly going to be a really kind of just a recurring theme of what I guess I'm accomplishing with these videos, like these personal anecdotal videos. Um, for those of you who haven't seen anything else I've posted, I encourage you to take a look at everything else I've talked about. But let me post this so I'm not distracted, and let me focus on what I'm going to do here right now today. Simply put, what I aim to do, and this is just me, I aim to inform, I guess is the best way. I really just have a conversation. I've always been about having a conversation in just about any space I'm in. I do that at work a lot. We just got this new guy, fresh out of college, very new to anything related to my particular field in engineering. Uh, he doesn't really understand the business side of a lot of things, and he doesn't understand how the company goes about selling and doing what it's been performed to do. But just to, before we kind of get into this, Coke has a cherry float flavor out that I've been dying to grab a hold of. I just went to I'm in New Jersey now, so I'm at Wegmans. Wegmans is like literally right near where we're at, which is wild because Wegmans is not as common as I thought it was. I was just like, oh, I could drive up the block to Wegmans. Not so. It's kind of like a step between a Sam's Club or a Costco and like a ShopRite. But I'm getting a little off track just because for the fun, for the hell of it. Have a little bit of fun. And you want to have fun doing what you do. That's an essential teaching we can get to at some point, maybe in this very video. But right now, I want to get back to what I was talking about, which, to be concise, is at work we have this new kid, very new, uh, graduate from college, very young, still kind of getting a lot of his footing, and understanding how like a full time thing works, full time job thing. Okay. He's I don't want to say he's not stupid. He's very curious, which is actually great. It's one of my favorite qualities in someone who's new to an organization, absorbing and asking questions. I remember when I first started at a new company, I was like, "Can you please invite me to just anything and everything pertaining to what we do business wise? I want to be informed and I want to know what I need to do, but I want to be there. I want to be a witness and a spectator. I want to see one. I want to do one, and then I want to start teaching one." That was something my dad taught me that is a common practice in. Ooh, excuse me. It's a common practice in medicine to do that. Doctors are often taught the principle of, you need to see something being done before you attempt it. And then you need to attempt it before you teach it. And then the confirming basis that you have everything in line and that your procedure is going to work and that you're going to be a full executive of it. The confirming thing that gets everything done every time is teaching. So, in a sense, um, I guess in a way, the way I'm doing this channel now is I'm trying to affirm and improve my knowledge base by essentially teaching. I think I've gone out there, I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, but now it's time to start teaching. And the reason why I feel this way, and I feel this way about a lot of things that I attempt to do or even see being done by others, the reason why I feel the way that I do, in best possible terms, a lot of it is just it makes sense to do it this way. If it's been done this way. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but there is something called the theory of Chesterton's fence, I believe. I want to look this up real quick. Yeah, Chesterton's fence. It is one of my favorite principles of all time. It talks about organizational development. I've talked about this for a very long time. We have also at my job the guy who was managing my supervisor, my direct supervisor, is moving over to a different part of the company, and instead someone who was like like basically a title above me, coworker, is now going to be my supervisor. In a sense, it's going to be an adjustment. But one of my favorite things and one of my favorite policies, and one of the things that I talked about was Chesterton's fence. And this is a principle, and I'm gonna read it verbatim right here because I have it up. I pulled it up over here. Chesterton's fence is the principle that you should not remove a fence, which is basically an equivalent to a rule or tradition, until you understood why that fence was put up there in the first place. Now, new manager's name will remain as classified as I can. I'm not going to do the whole name thing. I'm going to just avoid naming him at all. But I remember when we were meeting, we were talking about this change. It was an important little sync that we do, corporate company things. And I remember one of the questions someone asked him was like, "Hey, what immediate change do you see happening?" And I genuinely think he answered along the lines of, "I don't see genuine changes happening until I start seeing what's been the established rule and what the established practices are. And then I'll make changes as I need to adapt and mold what we do already into something that's sustainable in the long run." That was such a good answer. And I knew that I worked with this guy for a very long time. I've worked for him ever since I started this company. It's going to be a little over 2 years now, 2.5, actually, which is wild. Time is moving too quick. Um, when I had first met him, he imparted upon me a level of wisdom that was so impressive. I knew he was going to have some kind of leadership and technical in a technical role. Like I knew it. I was shocked. In fact, he didn't have that role already. But and I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to talk about this. I had a whole conversation about it. When someone was like, "Oh, so and so is going to be our new boss," and I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. And I had a coworker who actually started the same day as me agree with me on a lot of this. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Um, Genuinely, when they first were talking about getting a sales manager for our end, the technical sales manager, I thought it was going to be him. We ended up hiring who was now going to be my former current manager from the outside, which at the time was a very rational and sensible move. Because ultimately, and I think this is my favorite thing, is and one thing that makes me really love this guy's character. It will have me in awe for quite some time. I don't think I'll find this if I was to ever work anywhere else. I don't know what the world has in store for me, but if I was to work somewhere else, I don't think I would ever find someone like this. It would be very hard. This is like a unicorn in the corporate world. You have so many people out here of the typical hodgepodgery, uh, businessy types focused and on a particular thought or terminology or a certain mindset. That one thing I find in him is that he is willing to accept that maybe right now is not the best time. And that was what he pretty much told basically now current big boss of the company, not CEO, but big boss of our particular department in the company, the sales department, uh, that he was not ready to take this on. And I think there comes a amount of grace and maturity in knowing what when your time to succeed is and what you're capable of doing. And I think this is going to go kind of come hand in hand with a lot of what I'm looking to talk about today, which is really just uh, what it takes for you to do for personal development. And I think when your job evolves or when your life evolves and you have all these things going on, you need to learn to do new things. You need to tackle and handle new things. When you are in a perpetual state of seeing, witnessing, and doing, seeing and doing, seeing and doing, when you're just constantly doing, you don't think about how to uh, prepare people. And this is often one of the biggest lapses in society as a whole. And I talked about it and alluded to it last time. I'm going to probably reiterate and talk about it today. But I think more talking today is going to be about dedicating to the ideology of teaching. The whole point of what we do is we know it, we've seen it, and we can do it because someone before us taught it. That is the ultimate goal of society. The ultimate goal of society is to replenish and replace people in places to be able to get you a product or to be able to benefit the greater good of society. One thing we do a lot is fail teachers. One thing we do a lot is fail to find teachers, we fail to compensate teachers, and we fail to put teachers in places where they can effectively teach people how to handle, teach people how to cope, teach people how to work through things. I gotta close the camera off. I'm a little bit distracted. Um, but ultimately, teachers are what helps the cycle continue. The cycle of evolution, progress, maintenance. Not even just a matter of just moving onward and succeeding, continuing to develop and build society. It's not just a matter of growth and development. It's also a matter of maintenance and sustaining, which is why when I see things like the president saying the DOE is not an important federal part of the body, it needs to be disbanded, that really hurts, dude. That's more of like, I'm not trying, I don't want to be a whole political commentator because when you get into politics, everybody has disagreements. But I think in this case, purely from the standpoint of someone looking to talk about and teach, everybody should want to teach. There is something in teaching. It's not a matter of just trying to say, oh, you know everything. It's also reaffirming, it's validating. Not only that, but teaching somebody something can enlighten you to their perspective. And this is another thing I was talking about with this new employee. When we had this new employee at work, we had him over the desk, and we were talking about someone who had left the company just today. Legitimately, like a lot of this happened just today, of what I've talked about at my work. Not all of it has, but over the course of probably since last time we talked, I think last time we talked, like I'm having a conversation with you live. Well, I kind of am, but last time I got to talk with everyone or post a video, uh, a lot of this stuff has kind of happened. A lot of life happens, and then you kind of pick up the pieces, and when you have time and when you're ready, uh, you kind of get back into what you were doing before. It's very healthy. It's beneficial. So we were talking about him, and my coworker, same one I actually started with. We were talking about how this employee left, and he was kind of getting involved because he was interested in our perspective. He was interested in learning and understanding how we function as a company. We were talking about our usual debate, and one of my favorite things. This was the person who was basically put in charge of learning and development for our company because our company's that big. We have a dedicated person in our HR for learning and developing engineering acumen. Um, Firstly, how they were never involved with our particular area. A lot of our knowledge is basically field notes that we do, and our knowledge is enough to help us put numbers to products. The importance of what we do and all the learning development is kind of solely focused around what we need, what our tools are to be able to succeed. So our skill set isn't necessarily the same skill set as a typical operational engineer component. So the person actually doing the work that we sell, their knowledge base is different from what our knowledge base might be. Or we might need a different set of skills that someone else in the company doesn't need to learn or develop. But we need to learn and develop it. So, but the point is, and what I found was very interesting was uh, we kind of he kind of feeling like, oh, he's like, oh, well, I wasn't really sure if I'm really even learning that well. And then my coworker says, no, dude, to be honest, we like having you here asking questions to us because, and this new kid was putting himself down. I think part of me thinks it was home, but part of me also thinks he wonders if he can do it. And everybody has had that struggle. Everybody has felt, can I do this? And I'm telling you guys right now, that is the healthiest possible thing. There are days where I wonder if I can do this. I've literally had those days last week. I was talking. If you were on the, if you guys had were flying the wall for the conversation of all the cursing, all the anguish I was feeling last week with certain things, I was wondering, holy shit, can I do this? And I was having those moments. And it's in those moments where you kind of got to steel yourself together, do what you can, and that was how I got through it. I just steeled it together. I did what I can, and that was ultimately what my kind of takeaway was. But I want to talk about my coworker because it's more important to talk about his side of the story because it's a little bit more relevant to what we're talking about. Um, it was the whole fact that having him there, having this new kid straight out of college there, just to impart wisdom and talk about these things with, just having that presence there forces us out of the seeing and doing mindset that we're normally in and brings on that teacher role and that teacher aspect. All of us have a level of knowledge in this area, in this particular business sector, and he was encouraged by our soon to be former tech sales manager to just, dude, just talk to everybody, just talk, ask questions, don't be afraid to ask any kind of question. No question is off limits. And it's been up to me and everybody else in that area. Everybody else kind of goes over. We congregate around. He asks questions. He kind of pulls people aside. Has gotten involved and pulled into project meetings. He's kind of taken on that role. And he asks questions. He just constantly. I got him involved in a project, and he starts asking me questions, and I go into elaborate explanations on how everything works. I would not be doing this if he was not there. If my coworker was not there, I would just be doing. But now I'm forced into teaching, which I think is honestly healthy. It's a little bit of relief because maybe it takes a little bit of a load off my shoulders. I'm getting him interactive and involved. I'm having him roll through documents to get me information. Something very simple and something I do like literally every day. My literal job is reading documentation. It's great. I get paid to read. Never has that ever been something I'm against. I've never been against reading. So I love what I do because I simplify it down to just saying, oh, it's a very mundane task. I have to, and because it's so mundane, I love it. Being able to do anything and simplify it down and make your job as simple and as easy as possible it's just, it feels good to do that. When you can feel like your job is very simple and you simplify your tasks down, not only do you get better at it, but you enjoy it. And it's got to be something you enjoy because if I've often been raised and I've been told, do what you enjoy, you never work a day in your life. So I'm doing that. I'm enjoying what I do, and I can say with full confidence that this is a very good job. Uh, I have no idea what the world has in store for me. I hope I can continue to work here as long as possible because I enjoy the people I work with. But one thing that I want to impart upon uh, everyone here is the importance and what I've come to realize about the power of teaching. Not only does it make it, not only is it beneficial to the person you're teaching, but it is beneficial to you. It's not giving a piece of you. It's not just giving yourself away. It's not giving your energy away. It's not having to slave over something. It's not. There's a lot of people who are stuck and they're in a rut because they feel like they are trapped in what they have chosen to do. And I've seen a lot of people like even there's even times where my brother who teaches, he's a music teacher. He has felt very stuck, and he's said that he's talked about it with my parents. He's even talked about it with me. He's like, I have so much going on at work, man. They're expecting so much crap out of me, and I don't know if I could do it all. But he still teaches. He still goes out there and he still tries. But ultimately, and the kind of thing I want to get away with talking about is, um, teaching. I don't think it's good for the soul. Jesus Christ, that was the. I wanted to say that so bad, but that was either so corny and just so. I don't know. The best way to describe it, and the best way to kind of say it is like it is like, we've talked about triangles. See one, do one, teach one. That's a triangle right there. Uh, so going back to the whole engineering perspective, I like to take on here a lot. Uh, That is a foundational piece. 3 points. All three contribute to a final solid structure. Society is built on triangles. Society is built on a house, not a house of cards in a flimsy sense, but a strong house of built by architects of the past, standing on the shoulders of giants. One of my favorite sayings in high school. In high school, we always talked about standing on the shoulders of giants and how we do that. And the reason why we stand on that shoulder is because the giants of our past, the people who have come before us, have took it upon themselves to continue the responsibility of teaching the next generation. And it is in that I want everyone to kind of what I want everyone to kind of get away with here and come away from with this is that without teachers, we are not going to survive. Not we don't progress. Progress is progress. Progress will happen whether it's taught or whether it is just stumbled upon to. There will always be progress. But survival, people willing to teach the subjects, people willing to impart their wisdom on others, whether it be a peer or whether it be a junior, someone younger, whether it be children, that you have plenty of things to teach kids. It is in the way you act. It is in the way it is, and you may not even see it. But children learn their behavior from the people around them. I've talked about previously how it takes a village. That village is teaching. Everyone in that village is a teacher. At any given point in time, you can be a teacher. And my ultimate takeaway for all of you is to think about this. Think about what you do. Think about what you see and think about what you do. And teach what you feel you need to teach. Whether that be a practical skill that someone should know, or whether that be a lifestyle, whether that be a thought process, whether that be some of that. That's kind of that's really what kind of drove me to do a lot of this. I wanted to come out here and talk about my perspective. Not only is it a way for me to kind of make what would otherwise be idle hours of me just scrolling on my phone, talking, texting people, planning hangouts, or would just be idle time that might not accomplish too much. I instead feel like I'm accomplishing a lot here. It might not seem like I'm accomplishing a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, one of my goals has been to contribute something. And in the simplest form, this is that something. To me, it means a lot to be able to sit here and just speak into a microphone, hopefully audibly this time. I went through audio settings as much as I could. I just figured raise my voice. My microphone is a lot more on the high end. I'll show you. I could love to take a photo for this thing for you guys to see. But one thing that I really want to impart, and my whole goal for this, is to come away and to go back to the very first thing I talked about in my first video. My goal at the end of all of this is to put something out there and feel accomplished. And I'm doing just that. I might do more. I might try other things. I might go into other spaces. I might not just sit into a microphone and talk all day. I don't want that to be whatever I am known for in this world. Whatever people decide and gravitate towards is what they will gravitate towards. Whatever people find in me that is interesting. Whatever people find in me is what people will find in me. But my whole point of doing this is to put something out there that not only lets me feel accomplished and whole, but to hopefully impart something upon people. Leave an impression. Leave some kind, not necessarily just a legacy, maybe just a legacy, but something that people can take away. Whether it be something that you're going through, struggling with, I wish you all the best. I know how difficult it is to struggle. I've been through a lot of personal struggles. I have felt in my darkest moments as if the world has been against me sometimes. And I know for a lot of people that's how it can feel. I know for a lot of people, they have been through literal hell compared to what I have. I have so much going in my favor. I haven't had to worry about finding family or restarting or struggling, starving, just unable to make whatever I do play the best possible hand. I haven't also been given opulent wealth. I also haven't been given boundless opportunity. I haven't been given everything, but I also haven't lost everything. But the one thing I want to do is give what I can. And what I'm aiming to do with a lot of these videos that I post, right now at least, is to give. I want to see one. I want to see something in this world. I want to witness the beauty and the mystery of the world we live in. I want to live. I want to create. I want to be a part of this world. I want to leave a lasting impact. And I want to teach. I want to see, I want to do, and I want to teach. And I think that everyone can benefit from this advice. I think that everyone can benefit from the thought process of seeing, witnessing the world, not being afraid, not shutting your eyes, not closing yourself off, not abandoning the world, not being forlorn hope and lost. Seeing the world, seeing how it evolves. The ugly side, the beauty of the world. Seeing that. Contributing to it. I'd like for you all to contribute positively, but realistically, some of us don't. And the world is full of people who don't contribute to the world positively. There's as much negative contribution as there is positive. And I hate to say that. But I want you guys to leave a legacy. I want you guys to go out there and leave something out there. Put something out there. Put a product, build, create, develop, try, work. Have some kind of impact on the people you care about. But most importantly, and I think the one thing that will help all of us, is teach people around you. Set the example. Go out there, make the difference. Make the difference not only by doing, but by teaching. Impart wisdom. Impart what you've learned. Force people to question themselves and question what they see. Be that curious new coworker, or be that wise manager. Just go out there. That's it. I think with that, I think I've left a very good kind of point to leave this off on. I want to thank you guys for any one of you who watches this or comes across this. If you've watched the whole thing, that to me means a lot. I want to have words that mean something to people who come across them. And to me, there's no greater feeling in the world than having someone appreciate that. Or even whether you have to say something to me or not. I always like hearing from people. I will never, ever, I don't want to say leave a comment on answer. I think that's unrealistic. Sometimes I don't answer words, but I want to see what people say. I want to see what people feel, put out there, do, make. And if that's a comment on my video, hopefully a positive one. If it's a negative one, that's fine too. If it says something along the lines of, hey, speak up, I can't hear you. That was for everyone who probably fell asleep at this point. But if anything, any kind of commentary, anything you might want to talk about or think about or see or wonder, I want to know that too. Because that also, that allows me to make something too. That allows me to make something for you guys to look at and see. Maybe it's something new and it's something we could really kind of explore together. Maybe it's something that I have to see, do, and then teach. Just like going with the theme of this video. But ultimately, I like hearing from people. I like seeing what people do. I like doing it. Not only do I like doing it myself, but I like experiencing and doing things by doing it. And most importantly, I like to sit here and I like to talk and teach. I try not to come off as someone lecturing. I hope I didn't come off as someone lecturing. But I wanted to have this discussion because this is something that I have experimented with in my own life and I've thought. So, one of the things that I like to do is just have the talk. And the talk can be informative. And I guess if an informative talk is really just teaching, if you think about it. But that's it for now. I've drawn this out for another 2 minutes with that alone. As you can tell, I just pulled up the recording. So I'm going to end this here. I want to thank you guys for coming along, listening, and thank you again. Leave a comment, share this, talk about it, continue to have the conversation, even with people you know. Don't just talk to me about it, talk to people you know. Have a conversation about this because I think that this is essential. And this will really allow the world to just keep going. Because Lord knows we need to keep going now. Times are tough for a lot of people. Things are uncertain. You don't know what people are thinking. But one thing you do know is that you have the capability to do whatever you need to succeed. Doubt is normal. Overcome it. Take care, everybody.